People came out to party at the Pink Retro Prom to support the Alight Foundation and raise money and awareness for breast cancer. Melissa Vogelsinger is the executive director, and she tells us about her work.
Journey at the Cone Health Cancer Center, and shortly after that I started mentoring newly diagnosed breast cancer patients, and I started training them, recruiting and training other women to do that, and so that evolved and we grew the program, and then the job with the Alight Foundation opened up at the time that the Cancer Center had their expansion in the fall of last year. Just New Year of last year. And so I went to work there, and I brought the mentoring program into the Alight Foundation, and so now we're housed in the Cone Health Cancer Center, and we provide emergency assistance funding for patients that are in treatment for breast cancer. We also provide educational materials when a patient is newly diagnosed. Right as they are given the news that they have breast cancer, we give them good information about what that is and what the diagnosis means, what the different treatment options are, and just so when they leave the doctor's office and they've been told that news, they will not get on the internet and Google breast cancer and just get their hands on information that's scary, but rather information that is doctor recommended and solid information that is useful in making treatment decisions that have to be made very quickly.
Melissa had her own experience with breast cancer and realized getting the right information was valuable.
When you're diagnosed with breast cancer, you didn't have it on your agenda. No one expects to be diagnosed. I certainly didn't at the age of 43. I was healthy, no family history. So getting good information when you're diagnosed is crucial, because if you don't have that knowledge. You don't know. I didn't know oncologists in town, and many women don't. Most women don't. So it is really important to get that information. It's great to have the names of the oncologists in town and where they're located. I mean, that sounds basic, but imagine a diagnosis and not knowing those things. So it makes the beginning of a very difficult journey a little bit easier, and that's what we're there for.
Given Melissa's experience with breast cancer, it was only fitting that she use it to serve other patients with breast cancer, informing them about their options.
I was diagnosed shortly after I'd moved to Greensboro, and so I didn't have a huge support system. And when I went through the imaging center where I got my diagnosis, I received the materials that my foundation, that I'm the executive director of now. I was given those materials, so I know the value of what those materials, what the value of them are at the time of diagnosis. The Alight Foundation was founded by Mary Garl Jones, who's a Greensboro native. She had her cancer journey herself in 2003, and she felt that there was inadequate information at the time. She didn't like the fact that she had to really go after the information. She wanted it to be in one place and for patients to get that information. So she started the foundation in 2005, and it's really just grown in the past 7-8 years now. Well, when patients are newly diagnosed in Greensboro, through Cone anyway, they come to what is called a multidisciplinary clinic, and that is where they've been diagnosed. This is maybe within the next week or 10 days. They come in to see their whole medical team. That'll be a medical oncologist, a radiation oncologist. It will be, they'll see a physical therapist, they'll see a surgeon that specializes in breast cancer. and they'll meet all of these people in one day. And that is a really long, overwhelming day for a new patient that's just been diagnosed. It's long for their families. It's long for their, a mother or a daughter or a spouse that's with the patient. So what we are on site to do now is to be available as survivors, that we can walk into that clinic setting and I can sit down with a patient and say, you know what, I sat in your shoes 5 years ago, 7 years ago, now it's been 7, and say, I know what it feels like. I know how you feel right now. I know what's going through your head, and I can say what's going through their head, and they recognize that. And the relief that the family members feel when they see me and I'm healthy and I'm wearing a survivor badge, and I describe that I had 6 rounds of chemotherapy and I had a bilateral mastectomy and I had 33 rounds of radiation. They're looking at me with my hair and my health, and that is very empowering to the whole family, the patient, and everyone. It's the most rewarding thing about the job, is to know that we are easing that burden for a patient, because it is terrifying. And, with my experience of having been there, I can say that the fear of all of it is far greater than the actual treatment. It's not as bad as people imagine it to be. I think that chemotherapy and these different treatments have a really bad reputation, and people have seen movies where people are very sick, and it's not like that so much anymore. And most breast cancers are survivable. Most women are going to be okay, and we're just really there to share that message with them. Well, it's very exciting. I love this. I love doing the Retro Prom with the News and Record, because it just reaches all across the community. And it's not about raising money all the time. I mean, we are a nonprofit. We are solely supported on the donations of a community, and hope that the community cares about breast cancer patients that are in treatment. But it's not always about that, and I love these kind of events like this Retro Prom, because we're able to kind of share what we do with the community, and not the patients, but just in general with everyone, so that they might know somebody that, and probably will, the likelihood 1 in 8 women, will be affected by breast cancer. And it's just great that we're able to share that knowledge and share what we do, so that when they are crossed with that in their lifetime, that they will know we're there to help. So I enjoy that. That's what is so wonderful about this event. What is the one piece of advice I would give a newly diagnosed patient? It's very simple. Speak to someone that has been there. Speak to a woman or man that has been through the breast cancer journey, and better than just speaking to anybody, speak to someone that has been through a similar treatment. No 2 breast cancers are alike. The composition of one woman's tumor and chemotherapy cocktail or surgery is going to be very different from someone else's. So our foundation, the Alight Foundation, has a mentoring program where we set women up that are newly diagnosed with women who have been through the cancer treatment. We try to match them up with age, ethnicity, the type of surgery they're having, whether they're having their chemotherapy before or after their surgery. Whatever their treatment plan is, we do the best job we can to match them up with someone that has similar circumstances to the best of our ability. That is one way, the one-on-one mentoring. The other way that you can reach out is to attend a support group. They are tremendous. It is a place where you can go, a safe place to talk about being a breast cancer, going through this, and the emotional side of it and the physical side. The women in the support groups are very often very helpful about things that are, the side effects of a treatment that you're having, and the women will be helpful in ways to tackle those issues. So definitely support group is good, and there are women in support group that are 10 years out, but they go because they want to be that strong survivor there for a newly diagnosed patient that comes in.